Okay, so I thought I'd do an easy guide on how to use a GoPro Hero 7. I've got a GoPro Hero 7 White, which is what's doing this recording. I'm just going to switch cameras now to show you the difference between the Hero 7 White and my iPhone for how much you can get in. Okay, so now it's on my iPhone 7. And as you can see, the view is nowhere near as wide as it was on the GoPro. So that's a good reason to use a GoPro, certainly for indoor shots where it's very tight, and just where you want to get more of the view around you, or certainly if you're doing a sporting action and you want the camera pointed at you, obviously you can see that you can get much more in. But here is my GoPro Hero 7. I'm going to change the camera angle now because I just wanted to show how different the wide angle was on the GoPro and then on my iPhone just in standard mode. Okay, so I've just reset my GoPro, so this will be just like when you buy your GoPro Hero 7 brand new. This is how it will come, so asking you for the language. It's a touchscreen device, so just tap on English, agree to the legal stuff, obviously read it if you want to. Then it says install the GoPro app. So if I go to the App Store on my iPad and I type in GoPro, and again, you can do this on iPhones or Android phones. This is what the GoPro app looks like. I've already downloaded it before, that's why it's got a cloud next to it. So it says here, leave your camera on and follow the app instructions. Now I've got another video I'm going to release, probably today, about cards, because I've had an issue with, now I don't know if it's an issue with this card or just how I was using it, but in the other video it goes a bit more in depth onto what type of card and just how to make sure that you definitely record the footage that you want and you don't have any missed recording. So that's aside, because this is meant to be about an easy tutorial. So the app is downloaded, so let's hit open on that. Okay, now this app works in portrait mode, just like the phone app. If I tap on the camera at the top here, you can see you don't have any cameras connected. So I've got to press add camera. Now the process may be a little bit different on Android, but I suspect it'll be very, very similar. So connect, oh there you go, so we found your GoPro. So if I do connect camera, there you go, so GoPro 7806 would like to pair with your iPad. So I'm going to say pair. So I'm going to call this Lee's Hero 7 White and just save that new name. There you go, so Hero 7 is ready. Now I haven't got a card in here. You see this pop up, GoPro wants to join Wi-Fi network, so I'm going to say join, and what it will do is it will connect the two together. So these are connected via Wi-Fi, but it's Wi-Fi direct, so it's not, you don't have to be at home to do this, you can be anywhere you like, and the GoPro creates a Wi-Fi network, and you can see now, so this is the camera recording, and this is me. Okay, so you can see from this screen that it says no SD card. You can see that it's coming through and it's showing me the information, but there's no SD card in there. So let's pop an SD card in. So you push down on this button and then slide that open. This actually comes off. You can take this door off if you want to. It actually just unclips. You pull it out and it unclips. So don't worry if your door comes off. So, I don't know why that's beeping. So let's pop the SD card in, so you can see it's picture side towards the lens. So if I click that in with my nail, that's definitely clicked in place now, and I can push this down and close it up. So now I have an SD card in there, and you can see if I pop that like that, and if I press record, I can control it from my iPad, and that's now recording. Don't worry that the quality looks rubbish on the iPad at the moment. This is just because it's doing a live recording. It's just to show you how well it's framed and everything. Now if I stop that, that stops recording. There you go, and you can hear it stopped. If I go, see at the top there's a back arrow, tap on that, tap on these little squares, and that will show you what recordings are on here. Now it's come up with an exclamation mark. GoPro would like to access your photos. So that's just a permissions thing. That was why I was coming up with that. There's the last video on the left hand side. Look, it's got the date to show you when everything was recorded. I can control it from my iPad, and that's now recording. Don't worry that the quality... So you can see that that's done a recording, and you've got various different options at the bottom here. We're keeping this basic, so here's the download button. And there's also a delete at the top. So if I want to download that to my iPad, if I hit download, you can see that it says calculating, and now it says complete. So that's now on my iPad. And where you find that is you can press your home button and then find your photos, which is here. Go to camera roll, and you can either go to, if you go to videos, that will show you just your videos. And so you can see that's the latest one that's gone on here, and these are various different GoPro videos that I've got. So if I tap on that, I can control it from my iPad, and that's now recording. Don't worry that the quality looks rubbish on the iPad. So I can play that, but I could also do all sorts of other things to it as well. So I can send it to someone, or I can open it in a video editing app, or I can do all sorts of things. This is the share icon, this one with an arrow pointing upwards. So if I tap that, you can see I've got loads of options here. I can mail it to someone, I can send it to my phone, I can message it to someone, but what I would ordinarily do is share it to LumaFusion, which is what I use for video editing. But you could also use iMovie as well, which is free on iOS. LumaFusion just gives you a lot more options. So if I go back to the GoPro app, and what I'll do is I'm just going to drag that to my main screen because I use the GoPro app a lot. And I'll pop it down this corner. There you go. So let's launch GoPro. And if I go back arrow, you can see my files. But also you always get this this screen here where if you go camera, it will show you what's happening through the camera. And then the squares are to show you what files you've got on there. And if I want to delete all of these, which I can because I've imported these into my iPad, into my photo stream, so I don't need to be on this app as well. I can do that, and I can hit delete. Now you can do settings on your GoPro, either on the GoPro itself, or you can do it on the app. So the app is obviously a lot bigger, especially on this big iPad. If I hit settings, you can see that at the moment it's set to 1440, which I don't use for video. I use 1080. 1080 is the widescreen view that most TVs recognise. If you've got a 4K TV, 1080 will perfectly fit that screen in widescreen. Obviously if you've got better GoPros, you'll have 4K video on that. But this one only goes up to a maximum of 1080. But I like to shoot at 60 frames a second. So that makes the image smoother on motion. It makes a bigger file size, but it does make the image better on motion, which obviously GoPros a lot of the time are for faster action, so it works perfectly well for that. Wide field of view, I tend to leave it on that because I like it to be a nice wide field of view so it gets as much information in. Short clip is off. I'm not going to go into that because so some of these things are less important. Things like the auto off 15 minutes just means that the GoPro will turn itself off after 15 minutes and you'll notice it beeping. So if you haven't touched it for a while, it will just beep. But if you press a button, you can see here that it switches between modes because it's already on. And you want to make sure you leave that on video. So that's still on video mode now. Not going to worry about screensaver, brightness. Video format, well I'm in the UK, so I'm going to shoot in PAL because PAL is the UK system, NTSC is the American system, North American system. Set time and date, well I think the app was probably taking care, it's done it already, look. And I didn't need to have done that. You've got various things like here, delete all files from SD card. They do suggest that you format the GoPro, so where this arose from is I've only had this GoPro, I don't know, a couple of months or so, and I've got on really well with it, but I did have an instance where I've had 2 recordings that failed to record. Now, as I've delved into it, and this is better covered in the other video, GoPro recommends certain cards, and this SanDisk is one of the cards that they recommend. I'll put a link in the description. If you don't use the right card, you might find that the GoPro behaves a little bit erratically or sometimes doesn't record. Now, in my case, I had been deleting individual videos from the GoPro, and turns out that that can cause problems. What you're really supposed to do is format the card after every time you've used it. So if you've used it and you've recorded it and you've transferred it over to your device, and obviously make as many backups as you can, so you could connect your device to a computer and back it up on there as well. But if you've got it backed up, then and you want your GoPro to be in the best state for recording, you need to format. And I'll show you how to do that on here. I'll just quickly see if there's anything else that, yeah, there's nothing else that I think for an easy tutorial I need to go into. So let's just quit back out of that. In fact, I don't even need the app now. So I'll move over to the GoPro. Okay, so my GoPro is on now. So if I tap the record button, that's now recording. And you can see from the camera that it's recording, and we're looking at what, 5. Well, I'm going to let this record for 1 minute because I want to show you how big the individual file sizes are. 7, 8, 9. So that's 1 minute. So I'll stop that there, so we can then see how big that file size for a minute recording. So I've done a recording. If I want to view that recording back, I slide from the underneath the screen upwards. And then what it will do is it will show you that video. And if I press, well, it's automatically playing. There's a timeline button here, so you can seek forward and back through the video. This is only a minute, so it's not going to be that useful. But if I wanted to, you can see I'm going back and forward in that video. And then if I want to delete, obviously I can delete it straight on there. The dots at the top show you all the videos that are on there. So you can select more than one if you were going to delete it. They don't usually come up with these bubbles, it's only because it's first been done. But if I had 2 files, then there would be one there as well, and I could select between the 2. But let's go back, slide down, and that will get us back to normal mode. And it's on the snail, so we know that it's recording in slow motion, or recording at 60 frames a second. That's the same thing. So it's not really recording in slow motion, it just means that it's recording with more frames per second. So when you do slow it down, it looks better, but it also looks better at speed as well, because it's a more consistent images because of the greater frame rate. So if I slide to the left or the right, I can switch between photo. I don't really use my GoPro for photos, but if you wanted to take a very wide photo, obviously you can. And then if I go back again, you've got time-lapse video. I'll put a demonstration of a time-lapse video on to show you what it's like, rather than try and explain what time-lapse is, because I think that's an easier way of doing it. So back to video. So again, we slide up if we want to see what we've recorded, and it will automatically start playing the last clip. But if we tap on it, we can then press the dots at the top, which will show us all the videos that are on there, and you can scroll through those if there's more than one. But if we go back, we can also delete that file. But I would say I wouldn't mess around deleting files out in the field, so to speak. I would wait till you get back and transfer everything over. Then you can make a decision with your big screen device like a phone or a tablet, and then format the card before you use it the next day, because formatting is the only way that you're going to ensure that that card is in its best state to be able to re-record. Okay, so this is how you format your SD card. So slide down from the top, tap Preferences, slide all the way to the bottom, tap Reset. Format SD card shows up, so tap that and then hit Format. And there you go, that's clearing off all the recordings. And this is always worth doing. Once you've backed everything up onto an iPad, an iPhone, an Android phone, computer, whatever, it's best to format the SD card in the GoPro, because you will get better performance out of it and much more reliability. So you're much less likely to get failed recordings. If you want to get off any of these menu screens, a good tip is to tap the power button on the right hand side. Just tap it once and it takes you back to that main screen. You can see that I'm in a different mode now. I'm in time-lapse at the moment, so let's slide that back. So now I'm in video mode. If I want to switch off, press and hold the power button. When it starts to beep, if you release it, you'll see that the GoPro turns off. So that's off now, properly off. If I want to turn it on again, I just press and hold the power button until it switches on. And this takes a while, the initial switch on one, but you can generally let go before you hear any beeps. There you go. And it comes up with this message because it's been shut down. So update date and time, you would always use the GoPro app because it's more simple than using the display. Sometimes you get an issue where the GoPro isn't sending out its Wi-Fi signal. So mine's called Lee's Hero 7. If it's not sending out a Wi-Fi signal and powering it down and powering it on again doesn't work, so you're still trying on your device to connect to it, just press and hold the power button and let it go beyond the beeps. And if you keep holding, what it will do is properly reset it. And you know it's being reset because it will come up with the GoPro logo. There you go. So that's like a proper restart, not reset, but it's a proper restart. And then you generally find when you want to set your Wi-Fi, it will work fine in that mode. So then you go to your tablet, try the GoPro app first of all. It will ask you if you want to join the network. If it has trouble joining the network, you can go into settings and connect to Wi-Fi, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so what I'll try first is to press the GoPro app and see what happens. I would imagine it will just start up straight away. Tap on the camera at the top there. Then we press on the camera and you'll see if it properly connects to the camera. There you go. This is what you want it to say. Now sometimes it won't say that. If I just tap on that to try and make this darker so you can read the writing on that. There you go. So you can see that it says GoPro wants to join the Wi-Fi network. If I hit join, then it will join that network. But you sometimes find that it doesn't join the network or doesn't give you that option and says go to settings. If that's the case, just press the home button, or obviously different on different devices, but just go to settings and change that network. So you search the Wi-Fi, you find the GoPro on there, you can see mine's already connected, and just tap on it. After you've used your GoPro, if you want to get back onto your ordinary Wi-Fi, you need to turn off your GoPro. So if I press and hold until I hear the beeps, there you go, now I can leave it. Now that will switch off. My device will work that out. So you'll see after a while it will know that there's no Wi-Fi network by that name and it will try and find a different network. Other than that, you can tap on your network. This is my network at home, BT Hub 6. I could tap on that and it would go straight back in. But turning off the GoPro, your device will soon realise, you can see it saying choose a network, and it's searching now. And it will work out there is no network, and then it will pick my preferred network, although it doesn't seem to be doing it at this time. So if that doesn't happen and your device has no internet connection after using your GoPro, you need to go into your Wi-Fi settings. Obviously this is different for different devices, and tap on your network and you can see I'll get a little fan up here, so now I've got a Wi-Fi connection back again. Anyway, I hope this helps. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment and I'll try and answer them. And thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.